only thing we have to
Beer.
is
Beer.
itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer! Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters, where you know by now we'll bring you the news and reviews of some wonderful brews. I'm Dan Baker, joined as always by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner,
and the demented and fermented
Wayne Baker.
Now today we have traveled to right outside, I almost said the nation's capital, but I really mean the state's capital. And
the more important capital.
Well, I don't know. That's well, as of today, yes. But we have made it to Middletown, Pennsylvania, right outside Harrisburg, and I found out today that Harrisburg has an international airport. I didn't know that. And I've lived 45 minutes away for, like, my entire life almost. But hey, never too late to learn anything. But we've made it to Middletown, and we are at Tattered Flag Brewery and Still Works, which we will get to that. But I couldn't be happier to be here. It's been a long time coming. Now, we had a taste of your stuff at Little Big Beer Fest, but here we have with us three guys at the table, so if you wouldn't mind introducing yourselves.
Dave Morrow, assistant brewer.
Tony Schneider, head brewer.
And Pat Devlin, one of the owners.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for having us out here.
One of those voices you've heard on the podcast
exactly.
before. And we're going to leave it to you to guess which one.
I ruined it.
That's all right.
Oh, you already ruined it? No. But yeah, so we had you at Little Big Beer Fest. That was last year? Was it last year?
So that was the second Little Big Beer Fest.
Second Little Big Beer Fest.
And
which
we will be at the third.
Yes.
It's been confirmed.
It's confirmed.
It is confirmed.
You've heard it here first.
And I've taken off of work, so it will actually happen.
Nice.
Yeah. But we had, I forget what beers you brought with
Mangos.
that day.
Yeah, Mangos was there.
Mangos.
It had to be.
Clearly, Steph remembers.
It was the best beer that night.
Oh, thank you.
The best, period.
I do remember being really impressed by it.
It's a triple IPA, ghost peppers, and mangoes. 12.5%.
So,
Wow.
of course, it was Steph's favorite beer.
Yep, and I remember it. I remember it not being as heavy as it sounded at the 12%, and that scared me a lot.
Yeah, that was a theme at Little Big Beer Fest.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like, how drunk can we get you without you knowing?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. Sponsored by Uber.
Sponsored by Uber.
They were a sponsor, actually.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Which is good, because I know if they do it again this year, they were doing like free Uber rides, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Because you're drinking a lot. Why wouldn't you? We've got a couple of things. One, I want to thank Audible for their continued support. You can go to audibletrial.com/beerbusters and sign up for your free 30-day trial, where you get to peruse the library, download, listen to, and keep your own audio book. So let's face it, it's a new year, it's new you. You probably want more books, but you're probably too busy to read them, so let somebody else read them to you, courtesy of audibletrial.com/beerbusters.
Yes, and of course you can always go to patreon.com/beerbusters to become a patron of the podcast and throw us a couple bucks each time we release an episode, or as little as $1 a month to help support the Beer Busters adventures. You go to patreon.com/beerbusters to learn more, and a little foreshadowing, we have a new patron to thank today.
Yeah.
In today's roll call, after the Happy Fun Time game, you know him, you love him. I'll tell him his name. I'll tell you his name later.
You almost had it.
And I'm excited to announce that the Beer Busters will be, for the third year in a row, at the third annual Schuylkill County Brew Fest on Saturday, May 20th. So if you haven't been yet, it's pretty awesome, and each year is growing and getting bigger and bigger, and the guys that run the show there are pretty awesome, so we're looking forward to being there again.
That should be fun. That should be a lot of fun. And we have a sipping beer.
Woo!
We do.
Yes. What are we sipping on?
TMIPA.
All right. I remember looking at the name of this on the notes, and I thought it was very clever. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we can actually see TMI right from out this window here. It's a little dark right now, but...
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was supposed to be like too much information.
No.
Nope.
IPA.
3 Mile
We're in
Island.
Harrisburg, TMI.
3 Mile Isle.
Oh, that makes sense now.
See what we did there?
I do.
Hey, Dan, did you know that Harrisburg has an international airport?
No, I didn't.
For those that aren't from the area, do you want to explain what 3 Mile Island is?
3 Mile Island is our local nuclear power plant that powers us all, and it had a famous meltdown in the 70s that it's probably most famous for.
It's almost the reason we almost weren't here.
Almost, yes.
Almost. But this IPA is delicious. I mean, what hops are in it?
So it is Citra hops, we use Ella, we use Cascade, and Simcoe.
And Crystal.
And Crystal, thank you.
And Crystal.
I was trying to cheat, and you beat me to it.
Nah.
Kind of a New England-style IPA. We want it to be nice and hazy, citrusy.
Yeah, it blends together very well, and it's not overpowering with the hop bitterness. I love it. It's
very
amazing.
nice. It's juicy. It's a little dank. It's got Simcoe in it, so I'm sold.
What's the ABV?
7.7.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. 7.7. All right.
My eyes worked faster.
Not crazy high, but it's up there. Good sipping beer, though. Good sipping beer. I'm excited for the first beer of the first tasting segment. just because I love the name.
Oh, I'm going to foreshadow and say I'm excited for the last thing of the show.
Oh, yeah, me as well.
Yeah,
me
so
as well.
stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, we should get to this. So unlike last time, I came to the show prepared, and I have news. I just have to wait for the technology to load said news. I am a fan of the art and the pastime of shower beers. So for anyone who may not be aware of this, you take a nice cold beer into a nice hot shower with you. It's the perfect way to relax because your body, the muscles are physically getting loose because of the hot water. Your mind is getting loose because of the beer, and it's a good time all around. And my last day off, I did that, and it was awesome. But the reason I mentioned
you drank a beer in the shower?
Many
I think
times.
he's Instagrammed it, too.
I did.
I was not aware of this.
Yeah, I Instagrammed it and got...
You live with him.
I know. I listen to podcasts in the shower.
I drink in the shower. Do I have a problem? I only do it on days off, and it was only the one.
So do you put it? I'm sorry. I am fascinated by this newfound phenomenon. Do you have a closed container?
No, just open a bottle.
So the shower water gets a bottle. Okay,
yeah, well, it's
that's
a bottle.
That
you
makes
could
more
do
sense.
a pint, but it's easier to do the bottle itself.
I'd imagine so.
Yeah, and if you have the shelves, you can just put
Pop
it there.
on there.
Yeah. And it's far enough away from the faucet that you're all set.
They sell bottle holders now for the bath.
Exactly.
Really?
Well, there's a Swedish brewery that has released a new beverage which is designed to optimize the experiments of drinking in the shower. It is a shower beer, wait for it, that doubles as a hair conditioner.
What?
The Peng Peng Brewery in Sweden teamed with creative agency Snas to create shower beer, that's just the name of it, quote, a sweet but strong pale ale in a small bottle, 6 ounces, meant to gulp in 3 sips while standing in the shower getting ready for the night.
Wow, that's a quick shower.
Yes.
Yeah, 3 sips. That's a quick beer.
Fredrik Tunedal said that the ale aims to be the perfect beverage for the time-honored tradition of bath brews. Some people have known about this forever.
Well, I could see drinking a beer in the bath.
No, but the shower.
But the shower just strikes me as unheard of.
Yeah, I've been drinking while taking baths for
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
But the shower?
The shower?
Don't knock it till you tried it.
I mean, whatever.
Don't knock
Cool.
it till you tried it. As a brewer, I work long and hard days. When I come home, I'm often covered in dust. My girlfriend actually calls me Mr. Multi-Pants. And the shower is a gateway back to normal society, Tunedal told Mashable. I made shower beer small enough to keep its temperature down... during the shower and strong enough to mentally wash your workday off and get ready for a fresh night out. And he said online searches revealed he wasn't alone in his affection for drinking beer in the shower. So looking through the hashtag shower beer, it's easy to see that people all over the world love that feeling of a hot shower and a nice cold beer. I just want to try to optimize the experience and trying to customize a brew for this glorious occasion.
What if you invert those things and take a cold shower with a hot beer?
I almost accidentally said that earlier when I was describing it. So far we have Nation's Capital and cold shower hot beer. He said the flavor profile was designed to be perfect for... That's supposed to say showering, but that's a typo. The beer is heavily hopped with citrus and has a citrusy, soapy, and somewhat herbal profile. He said the beer can also be put to practical use as a hair conditioner. Quote, I designed the recipe so that it can be used as a conditioner, so if you're into looking good rather than feeling good, I thought of you too.
I don't think that part was too hard, though, because I have read about using beer as a conditioner.
And when I went to one time to get my haircut, they tried to give me a hop shampoo.
Yeah.
So it's... Yeah,
well,
but this is
shampoo.
also drinkable and could be that.
But you can actually use a beer to put on your hair.
Oh,
I have read about that.
Head.
I condition my hair with olive oil. There are many things in the kitchen that you can put on your hair. Coconut oil is also great for your hair.
Bacon grease.
No.
Bacon grease.
That's not good for any
cold shower, hot bacon.
Let's do it.
Drop the mic.
No, cold shower, hot bacon.
Bacon.
The first batch of shower beer was only available in Sweden, and it sold out within minutes.
Without minutes.
A second batch is on the way.
It's going to be a great night.
Which Tunedal said will be available in Britain and the United States.
Nice.
Furthermore...
There's more?
No, not this one. There's another story.
More.
There's another story. A team of UC San Diego engineering students are hoping to answer the age-old question, can you brew beer on the moon?
Yes.
Probably.
Only if you bring your own water.
Wait for it. Well,
and gravity. Might need more gravity.
Oh, yeah, and that.
Yeah.
Oh, just you wait. The students are finalists in a competition known as Lab to Moon, and the experiment will test the viability of yeast on the moon, data that could be used and be important in developing certain kinds of medicine and food in space on longer missions.
It would also be, can you boil things on the moon? There's no atmosphere.
Not probably on the moon, but maybe in the lunar module.
You would have to create atmospheric pressure.
Oh, I see
order
what you
to
mean.
properly
Yeah. Oh,
boil
well,
something.
I thought you meant like boil anything in general, but let alone. Okay, so just wait.
No, I mean boil water.
Right. Well, shut up. Going by the name
And or wort.
Going by the name Team Original Gravity, they are one of 25 teams selected out of about 3,000 to compete for a spot on a spacecraft set to launch at the end of 2017. And the mission takes a few liberties with the brewing process. All the prep work and brewing of the wort is going to be done here on Earth. But the yeast is going to be added in zero-G. So the plan is also going to combine fermentation and carbonation into one step, which will help prevent sanitation and safety issues and releasing of accumulated CO2. The yeast is going to be fermented using pressure rather than density, since density uses gravity as its base. The Lunar Brewery, according to University of California's website, is roughly the size of a soda or beer can, and is based on the design of traditional fermenters. According to Srivath Kalin, who is Original Gravity's mechanical lead, it contains 3 compartments. The top will be filled with unfermented beer, and the second will contain the yeast. And when the rover lands on the moon with the equipment, a valve is going to open between the two, and they're going to mix, and that's where it all happens.
That's like those cold packs where you like snap it and it creates a chemical reaction.
I have one of those.
Yeah.
They're
or
freaking
hot.
awesome.
They do, yeah. It's like you just like break its seal and then beer gets made.
Yeah. Well, beyond just this competition, they've gotten the attention of the beer community, and they have sponsorships from Omega Yeast Labs as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
That's
it's
pretty
yet to they have yet to win the competition. I hope they do, because I think not only it's going to be cool to say, hey, they brewed a beer in space, sort of, but this could
they
lead
didn't
to technically no,
Yeah.
but
They fermented in space.
they fermented
Fermented
it
beer
in space.
Yeah.
But
Which is something.
Well, fermented the beer in
Yeah.
space.
Air quotes.
But it's something that could help as the nerd that I am with longer space missions. You know, should we ever go to Mars? If it's a 7-month journey, do you give them the freeze dried food ahead of
I want
time?
my
or?
astronauts like getting drunk
No,
on the moon.
No,
like,
but they can make bread.
Like the pilot on the plane doesn't drink, but the passengers, space tourism, Hey,
So are you taking like a tourist trip to Mars?
yeah, I mean,
right.
eventually.
Hopefully.
I'm still fascinated that you can brew on a boat.
Wow. And we went there.
Yep.
Well, on Wayne's corny joke, we should mention that, again, as we've already said, so we are here at Tattered Flag. And I'm going to break out the E word. I am excited to be here, damn it. It's been a long time coming. So that was, April of last year was Little Big Beer Fest. So here we are. It is January of 2017 as we're recording this. And you guys have been open since, June, July, was it?
Early July.
Early July, okay. And now I know we were saying when we took the tour, the downstairs part with the stills was open since then, but up here where we're at now with the brew pub, I guess this would be, has been like 4 weeks at this point.
I would say about a month, yep.
About a month, okay. Which I love the look in here. Now, you said this was originally the Elks Lodge, was it?
Elks Lodge in Middletown.
Okay, cool. But I like that you kept the wood and repurposed it for other things to keep up the aesthetic that you have. I love the look that you guys have here. This is awesome.
What I was amazed at when we got here, and I've never been here before, I didn't realize how big this place is. There is so much room here, and like you come around the corner and you see the little brewery there and the distillery equipment and stuff, and I thought, okay, it's just like a first floor little dining area and a bar and whatever. And then we come in and there's an upstairs and there's another room and there's this room and that room, and yeah, it's really awesome. I mean, you got a lot of room here.
Yeah, when people come upstairs, that's a pretty common thing. They're not used to.
Didn't even realize.
Not ready for
here.
it.
Yeah. And for only having this area open for about a month now, it feels lived in.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
You know what I mean. Like, it just doesn't feel like it's brand new. Like, it feels like
it feels like you guys
cozy-
have been doing it forever. The food was on point. I had the buttermilk chicken sandwich was amazing. The beers so far were great. I mean, we have just going to say 3 Mile Island IPA. But I also had the Hefeweizen before, too. Clearly you guys know what you're doing, and it already shows, being only open for a few months to have beers of this caliber so far, and I'm sure the other ones are going to live up to it, and to have this food and this crowd, too. I mean, what was the reception like before you had the brew pub?
When we just had the downstairs, there was a lot of locals and a lot of people interested from the Harrisburg area came in. A little quieter. We had some busy nights, though. 100 people downstairs. I don't remember what the capacity is downstairs, so I don't want to say too many people.
It's under 9. You're just under, so you saved us.
Okay. It was like 105.
And then we stick to that, really. Yeah.
the Harrisburg Fire Marshal is a huge fan of our podcast. You guys want to be careful.
All right.
We used to pack the house down there. Once we opened up here and got a full menu with the food you guys had, it's been a lot busier.
Nice, very nice.
And you're serving brunch now, too, on Sundays, right?
Sunday mornings, Sunday afternoons brunch. Yep.
That menu looks pretty enticing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have looked at the brunch menu.
No.
I didn't look at the menu. I did see the note on the tap list that they now are doing brunch. But I want to talk about, as long as we're talking about the building, this building is old and it's got some history. And I know, Pat, I think you were the history guy.
I am, yeah. I'm
can you tell us a little bit about the history of the building?
So this building was originally, some of the structuring was originally built in 1905. It was originally the band hall for the town. So they would come, they would gather, they would listen to music, they would interact with one another. It burnt down in 1910. Was rebuilt in 1911, and that's currently what it is. When it was rebuilt in 1911, it was rebuilt as the Elks Lodge, and it was rebuilt as the theater, which borders this building as well. There was shops downstairs. They started as men's clothing stores, a bunch of different things. They had retail. There was you see the old Victorian homes here. This was a big area, and it's the actually oldest town in Dauphin County.
Oh wow.
Yep, it's older than Harrisburg. It's older than anything else. This is the oldest town in Dauphin County. Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
This is the OG of Dauphin County.
Very nice.
Maybe that's a beer name right there.
There you go. I think it's a good beer name. Yeah. Well, and I think, and Dan mentioned briefly the reclaimed wood that you guys used for various fixtures and accoutrement here and there. Yeah, and it's got a really cool vibe, and it's got a really cool combination of like the original structure, like when you're down in the basement, you like the exposed stone, and there's like exposed brick here as well. But then like the newer stuff that you guys have done and the fresh paint and everything, and it creates a really cool atmosphere. It's a really cool building.
We appreciate it. Yeah, we tried to reuse as much as we could from the building, try to capture as much as we could of the historical value, and keep it kind of at that, pay homage to the original building in a way.
Nice.
And I love there's the game room now, right? And then there's a nice large bar upstairs, and there's even opportunities for private events up here with a private bar. And then there's the bar downstairs as well. Now you have two different menus though for downstairs and upstairs, right?
We have two different menus just for our lunch periods. Mm-hmm. Friday, Saturday for right now. We just do what we call them Les Bob Dogs, which is one of our bartenders. We call him Bob, and he's Les Bob Dogs in homage of him.
Nice.
Because we make him make them now downstairs. So we do that we have also pork nachos down there, but a small menu for lunch on Fridays, Saturdays, and then we have our regular menu starting at 4, Wednesdays at 4, Thursdays at 4.
And they have everything from like snacks like fried pickles, which I had, which were amazing, really tasty salads, and you said about the chicken sandwich. Rich had this really burger that he was drooling over. And then there's entrees, too. Like our friend Jen had the schnitzel that looked pretty freaking amazing.
That looked really good. Smelled really good, too.
Yeah.
So it's like rustic, but almost like fine dining-ish food. I mean, it's kind of fancy brew pub food.
Kind of is, yeah.
That's kind of where we put ourselves. We call it upscale brew pub, but fancy brew pub is they hit it right on the mark.
Is the menu sort of set, or is it seasonal? Is it going to change?
Seasonal. We like to do a lot of seasonal stuff. Certain meal items might be in season, and that's when we want to grab them. We want to grab those fresh items. When things go out of season, we don't want to serve people, something that's out of season.
Right.
It's hard to get. It's more expensive. It doesn't taste as good. So.
Well, everything we had tonight was pretty freaking tasty.
So was having an extensive food menu, and from what you can see, you can glimpse the kitchen behind the bar over there a little bit. It seems like a sizable kitchen as well, just like everything else here. Was it always the plan to have an extensive food menu as well, or did that just kind of come as you guys grew?
It just, really a snowball effect. I have three.
You started with hot dogs, then Norse fries, and now you've got a full menu.
That's it, pretty much. Yeah. And, we looked at multiple locations when we started. And as the space grew, so did the ideas, and that's always the problem. There's more ideas to fill out than what you're doing sometimes. But it started off as a little brew pub. We wanted like a little brewery, maybe 30 seats, and now I think we have close to 200 seats in this building right now. So a lot different.
Very nice, very nice.
So talk a little bit about Tattered Flag. The name, the mantra behind it, you yourself are a veteran. Talk about that for a little bit.
Well, the name, we were kind of trying to figure out a name, and we were kicking it around a while. And a name and branding in this day and age are one of the more important things. but I was getting out of the military, and it kind of came from that. I was over in Afghanistan for 11 months. That's kind of where my home brewing came from. I would home brew, and then I would brew over in Afghanistan because it's hard to get. Don't let the military catch me saying that.
We already got the fire marshal. Now we've got the U.S. military.
Yeah. I'll be getting a call here shortly. So I had a flag over there I kept with me, and I take it out with me, and we'd flew it over our base. And when I came back, it was kind of weathered and worn, dirty, ripped, shredded a little bit. But to us, that's kind of we pay that homage to. Yeah, something might get weathered, worn, but it still stands for its ideals and its principles that are backing it, and that's kind of what we like to do, and we kind of we try to live by that motto here. We want a very for the people, by the people thing. You'll see that we'll try to walk around at your table. We're very open. A lot of the owners, the brewers, are just walk around. If you have beer questions, if you we'll take criticisms, we'll take compliments, anything, and that's kind of where we like to stand. Although, it might be out there we're in this old brick building, and but we resurrected it, and now we kind of are standing where we are. So we stand behind those ideals.
And you own the brewery with some of your friends as well,
yes.
Correct?
Yep.
How did that, you just came back from the military and you guys are like, let's open a brewery?
Kind of, yeah. It's funny, that's kind of how it worked. I was interested in owning a brewery. I lived down in Virginia Beach, and there wasn't many breweries in the area. Now there's like 10.
If you ever,
that's like you could say the same thing about almost any city anywhere. Like really.
Insert town.
Yeah.
Very funny because in that area, I mean, there was there was plenty of room for a bunch of them, and now there are a bunch of them. Just like you said, Green Flash is just opened up down there. Probably was like 10 minutes from my house. So when I was coming out, my wife is from here. We all grew up in Perry County, so my wife wanted to move back, be with her family. So we moved back, and I always kind of, if I was getting out of the military, I wanted to do something that was interesting to me, that I could control, although I've learned that the business controls you. You don't control any of the business. But so I proposed to the guys. I knew it was something I couldn't do by myself. It's just too much, and thank God now, because I mean, like you said, look at the size of this place.
It's definitely ballooned.
It's blown out proportion. Yeah, now we're a distillery too, so there's a lot of facets to it, and thank God I have good partners.
Well, and as with the food, was the distillery always part of the plan, or is that just another thing? You're just like, what? Why not?
Well, it kind of got tacked on. My original thought was I wanted to do a brewery, and then one of my partners said, hey, distilling is something that's catching on here, and craft distilleries, and so we thought, well, that would be pretty cool. Let's add that on. Let's see, we can do that with it, and how do we do that? And I mean, then the nightmare began because of the licensing.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
I mean, how much legal red tape was there to get through? How long did it take for everything to fall in place?
So for our distillery, I mean, we just got licensed in November, and that was it was a year-long process in the distillery to get licensed. Yeah, from when I submitted that application, it took a year through the federal government.
Now, I know there used, I don't know if there still are, but I know we've run into places where, like at Bucks County, you have the brewery on one side and it's a different distillery next to them.
Yeah. Or up at Hijinks.
Right, yeah, with the
county
complex.
seat.
Yeah. But I know you have to have like so many things in place. What kind of weird regulations do you have? Because you're co-branded as the craft brewery and distillery. Like, what'd you have to go through to make sure it could be the same name?
A lot of legal tape, but technically that license is held by Tattered Flag Stillworks. And actually so you're sitting in 1 South Union Street right now, Middletown, and if you were to walk through my front door of my distillery, you're sitting in 5 South Union Street.
It's another address.
It's another address, yeah.
Oh.
And when you first opened, Tony was telling us you had to have a separate bar as well for the spirits, but now the law has changed and that's not the case anymore?
When the law changed, we can now serve our own spirits because I just sell to myself now.
Right.
So
because you can, as a craft brewer, you can also sell craft distilleries, so you're basically selling yourself in 2 different companies,
correct.
right?
Correct. Yep.
Brilliant.
But can you sell bottles of your spirits here?
Eventually, I would have to sell it still out of my my serviced area.
So you're saying I can't leave tonight with a bottle of whiskey?
Unfortunately, no.
I will come back.
One month or a month and a half. Come on back.
All right.
Can we leave tonight with a barrel of whiskey?
If you can carry it.
Is that on the table? We'll make it work.
Can we
You
roll
have a
it?
hand truck?
So when did Tony and Dave come on board? How'd you get these two?
Well, what's kind of funny is Dave. I think Dave said it the other day. 2 years ago.
Wow.
2 years ago, actually, we started. We started our whole project almost 3 years ago. Wow. So we brought them on. We knew we needed professionals. We knew we needed guys that I knew how to homebrew, but that's what I needed. That's what I knew. I knew that I didn't know. So we brought those guys on, and yeah, literally 2 years ago, we just looked at it and thought about it, and we created Tattered Flag, and these guys were brewing for us on their side jobs, and
Nice.
And
What I know,
here we are.
and you guys, I know Pat, you said you had a lot of homebrewing experience and brewing abroad as well. But you guys were both in the American Brewers Guild. You guys went through, which Steph is also an alumni of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we took I took the week-long class there, and when I did that, he went to UC Davis, did that week-long class.
Nice.
And then we both went up to Vermont and took their lab class up there and got a lot of Vermont beer, too.
Cool. And have you guys had commercial brewing experience before Tattered Flag, or was it mostly like home brewing?
I brewed at ABC.
Okay.
I was a home brewer.
You're a home brewer?
And I homebrewed for a long time as well before ABC.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice.
So are a lot of the beers on tap between all of you, I guess, homebrew recipes, things that you've brewed before? Or?
Yeah, pretty much. Especially the flagship beers we thought about for years. Some we brewed at home. I know Mangost was a beer that he brewed for a long time at home.
So
That's
you
why Dave's my new
are
best
the
friend.
mind behind man.
That's right. This is a man.
Guilty.
Has that made an appearance again? Is that still something you guys serve?
Oh, yep,
it's on
we
the
have
We're
list.
having it
We're having it
tonight.
on the
That's the
list.
only
I
reason
should-
we're here.
I should scroll down a little bit of my notes, then I can see
Pay
that.
attention, Dan. That's
And I
also what
love,
we had
last
at
time
Little
I
Big
was
Beer
here,
Fest.
Dave promised me another spicy beer, and it's on the list. So Dave delivers. He might be my new favorite.
Are you,
brewer.
Dave, are you a fan of spicy beers?
I love spicy beers. If Pat would let me have 3 or 4 pepper beers on the menu, there would be 3 or 4 pepper
you
beers
and
on
Steph
the
are going
menu.
to be fast friends.
How many beers do you typically have on at one time?
We have 12 taps downstairs and 12 up here. Mostly the same, maybe 3 or 4 different upstairs and downstairs.
All right.
What was the mint one that was on last time I was
What?
here? There was something that was
Our
on that had
Pater's
mint
Gonna
in it.
Hate.
Yes.
It was a Pater's beer.
Yes.
The peppermint. Pater's Gonna Hate.
The peppermint. That was delicious. But that was on up here. It wasn't on downstairs.
Hold on. Stop the podcast. Who comes up with the names? I need to know.
It's a collaboration
Okay.
effort between all of us.
No,
I think that was
Pater's Gonna Hate was me.
Was you? Yeah, it was
Oh,
you.
okay.
Okay.
You were about
I
to-
won't take
He's
credit. I
taking
won't take
credit.
I'm taking a stand on that one. That was all me, buddy. No, but I love just looking down the list of what we're going to have on the show tonight and looking at the tablet. Just awesome names. I just had to mention that.
Lots of foreshadowing tonight.
Yes.
Lots of foreshadowing.
We do a lot of test beers. So we don't want to be guys that just there's our flagships, there it is, and that's it. We want to try different things, and sometimes I know we're going to hit the mark, and sometimes we're not. But so we throw a lot of random stuff out there, and
When have we
and see
not?
what works. Well, that's a good
Confidence.
question.
Well, and speaking of that smaller pilot system, you guys do something really interesting here that I love. You allow homebrewers to come in and brew their own beer here on your system. They get to take some home. You serve it here.
Sure, yeah, you come in with your recipe, or if you've never brewed before, you can come in and we'll brew the beer with you, give you a lesson, and you can take the beer home. We just had a lady that brewed a beer for her husband for his birthday, named it after him, and he had no idea. Showed him pictures of her mixing the mash, and
Aw.
That is
whole
that
thing.
is really cool.
Oh, that's
He
awesome.
loved it, and they're coming tomorrow to try it. It's the triple on right now, actually.
That's so
What
awesome.
is-
nice.
What does that typically cost?
So it depends on the alcohol
right.
and how much beer you want to take, but it starts at 300.
Which, considering
That's
you're getting
not bad,
a
yeah.
six
You're
level
getting
beer-
experience. You
Yeah.
get to hang out with us.
commercial brewery and
Right.
brew with
You can say you
professional
brewed.
brewers.
Yeah.
And your beer is on
It's-
tap.
And your beer is
at a
on tap
professional-
at a real bar.
At a real
You have all your
brewery.
friends come out and try your beer that you made in
It's
a
like
real
a party.
bar.
What a cool bachelor or bachelorette
That's a
party
really
that
good
would
idea.
be.
Yeah, do
that
your
would
own
be
beer.
awesome.
And that's a
I'm
real,
gonna get married again.
I've
so I can
never
have my
heard any.
bachelor
I've
party
never heard
again.
any other brewery that does anything like that. That's a really
We
cool
also
idea.
did distill your own, so if you want to make a whiskey or a vodka,
Right.
you can come in and do
I'm
that
in.
as well.
I am in. I will
That's a really
gladly
cool
do that.
idea.
All right.
So what? Obviously, I've brewed many times, but I've never actually made spirits. Is the time similar? Like, is a brew day similar to a? What do you even call it?
You just got to kill
day?
somebody and wait for the
Still
ghost to come around.
But
It's similar. It's similar in time. Yeah, typically it takes about the same time, and that's a much boring process because you're waiting to get up to temperature, and then eventually it'll start boiling a little bit, and you'll see it come through, and then eventually, you'll start running through your heads or foreshots, which is what you don't want. That's like rubbing alcohol or jet fuel, and then you'll be getting your hearts and your. That's the exciting part when stuff starts coming out, and you're trying to you're tasting it, you're seeing where you're at, and when you need to pull off, and
so you're not really adding anything during the process. It's not like brewing
kind of
where
just
you're
watching
adding.
it,
Exactly.
knowing when
Well,
to
you can
start
come
collecting.
in and make your wash. You can
Yes.
brew the
Yep.
wash with us, corn and 2-row if you want to make a bourbon, and that's just like a brewing day as well. Come in the week later and still it.
Right. Wow, that's pretty cool. And so, where did that idea come from to do something like that?
To let people in
Yeah.
here.
I mean, like we were talking about before, we wanted to be interactive with our crowd and our customers, and that was kind of a way that we thought with this small system we could do that. We can open it up to people, in limited quantities. Obviously, we only have so much fermentation space, or distilling. We can't have a ton of people in, but we could start opening it up to some people, and they could experience that, and they could, because a lot of people want to know, well, what's that experience, or what it's like brewing on a bigger system or a professional system, coming from a home brewing perspective and maybe a home distilling perspective, although, I won't.
That's technically not
technically
allowed.
illegal. It's called bootlegging, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Moonshining, so.
Moonshine.
Bathtub gin. There you go, Dan.
Yep.
Doubles as conditioner.
Oh,
It's a nice face wash.
I don't know about that.
So beyond the pilot system, you guys brew on a pretty impressive brew house, which you can talk about for a little bit. But I also want to talk about that your brew area is big, but it's big.
It's vertical.
Vertically?
Yeah, that was...
And I think my first question was, where is the ladder? Because as the girl that used to have to climb up and clean the spray ball, I'm not climbing up. You have a fermenter on top of a fermenter?
Yeah. Well, we have all that vertical space, so we thought we would stack fermenters, and it was a great idea. In practice, it's a little more difficult. I do have Pat as a SEAL, so heights and climbing, it's,
He just climbs
Challenge
all over.
accepted.
it's no
Spider-Man
problem.
up
If
there,
we
he's
need to
fine. Yeah.
add something, I just say, hey, Pat,
Is he
come
like,
down
when
here.
can I climb up there? When can
Yeah,
I
he
climb
really
up there?
is. He doesn't mind. So we have a ladder. It's just it's harrowing sometimes to go up there.
I can
and
imagine, yeah.
dry hop or clean the
Add
tanks.
coffee.
Add coffee, sure.
So what size system is the big boy system?
It's a 10-barrel system, alpha brewing operation system, automated pneumatic valves, really nice, nicest brew house I've ever worked on for sure. We have 5 10-barrel fermenters and a 20-barrel fermenter.
And you also have some barrels.
Yeah,
We have some Jack Daniel's barrels full of stout right now, and that's on tap as well.
Is the plan to keep adding more barrels and have fun barrel aging?
Because we have the distillery too, we have the option of using their whiskey barrels and put our beer in it and kind of go back and forth that way.
Here's a legal question. If you were going to take barrels from the Distillworks to age beer in, do you technically have to buy them from yourself? Pay
Technically, yes.
$1 a barrel just
Yes.
to have them? Yeah,
Yep.
that's weird.
Isn't it? It's. I tell you what's very weird is when I sign the check and then on the back I sign the check. And that's one of the weirdest experiences I've ever had.
I can imagine. I didn't even think of
Interesting.
that.
I didn't think of it that way. Transfer money to yourself.
Yes. Yep.
But do you think
bank's like,
you'll send the barrels back and forth? So have the barrel of whiskey, bring it over, age a beer, send it back to distill more whiskey, and keep it going. I could see that going on for years with the same barrel, and I think that'd be cool to try it every year.
I feel like there's also a really good money laundering scheme
Oh my God.
somewhere in there.
Probably.
Just selling barrels
When
back.
you figure it out, let me know.
Now we have the FBI.
Got to be somebody.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know, right? We're
Well.
just ticking all the boxes tonight.
That would just need the NSA involved.
Speaking of barrels, you guys also have a small sour barrel aging area that's, I hope, going to grow.
Yeah, we have 4 barrels right now, 3 wine barrels and a rum barrel. We have an amber sour on tap right now that we loaded with elderberries, aged it for 8 months. Have a couple more. We have a cream sour down there, and we have a black IPA with blackberries sour down there.
Oh,
So, yeah, it's something we definitely want to grow.
that sounds wrong, but so right.
Yeah, we had the same reaction. Yeah.
I'm curious about the cream sour. I don't think I've ever had a cream sour
It's actually
before.
cream Akosa dogwood. So you probably never had it before.
Yeah,
Probably
that's
not,
real.
no.
Wow.
That sounds unique.
A Coasted Dogwood is a berry that drops off like small dogwood trees in the fall, and you break them open, and they're actually really peachy creamy.
Really?
So it's interesting. It's almost like the peachy flavor comes through.
Wow. Well, speaking of barrels of different sorts, in the Stillworks, do you guys do or plan on doing like vodka, gin, whiskey, bourbon, like pretty much across the board?
All that, yep. We plan on doing it. We've only done whiskey so far. We've done bourbon. But yeah, we have vodka plans coming and gin for sure.
Can I ask a question? So you had bourbon and whiskey. What is the difference? Because a lot of times you see like bourbon whiskey on the label.
Sure, bourbon's got to be 51% corn.
Okay.
It's got to be aged for 2 years.
All right.
Whiskey can be single malt. You could do rye. You could do corn with whiskey as well. But bourbon has specifics.
Okay.
I guess also it's got to be made in Kentucky according to some people.
Well, yeah.
That's
like champagne can only be from Champagne region, France.
But technically, they say in the U.S. So
yeah.
People get toity about that. You know, it hasn't been
Mostly
made in
people in
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Kentuckians. Sorry, Kentuckians.
Ironically, people in Kentucky in dry counties where they make whiskey.
Why is whiskey spelled with a EY sometimes and just Y sometimes?
It's a European and American thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the American way? I feel like the E.
E is American.
Yes, damn right.
Yeah. Because we need more letters. Every word just needs more
but
letters.
usually, like, British, it's like OU instead of just
right.
O. They add the letters.
Color.
Or they say
Germany, they just keep adding letters and more letters
herb
and more
because
letters.
there's a fucking H in it.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That went off the rails kind of quick.
Sorry.
Yeah, whiskey actually means breath of life or water of life. Wishka beta. If I said that correctly, but yeah, it means water of life.
Doesn't vodka from Russian mean a similar thing, like water of life? I've heard.
It probably.
So
yeah.
they just all. It's probably what tequila means too.
Yeah.
It just means water of life.
No, tequila's
I don't know. This is Beer Busters.
I know. Let's get back on track.
That's why we can ask so much about the liquor, because we
really don't know.
I want to know more about liquor, but I don't. That sounded wrong. Well, somebody else talk.
Anyway.
So we mentioned the homebrewers earlier, but did I see that you have a homebrew competition coming up in March?
Yeah, March 24th.
Or 25th.
25th, thank you. We're going to be about what I know is we're going to be the judges. You brew a beer. Pat might know more than me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's actually a home brewers competition and just a show as well, a little brew festival, if you will, but with home brewers. They were doing it at a location close to here, I believe, north. And when we opened up, they approached us of coming and doing it at this location. So we're pretty excited for it. I don't know if they're going to announce this yet, or maybe I'm blowing it, but we will actually be giving the winner the homebrew the beer brewing experience. So
that's cool.
They'll be able to brew that beer
perfect.
on our system.
For a brief second, I thought you were going to say that you were going to be giving them like the pilot system. This is now yours.
If
I'm entering that.
I tell you what, if they can get that thing out of the basement.
All right, it's all we got to do, Dan. If we can get the barrels out, if we can get the system out, it's ours.
Where are we going to put this stuff?
We'll put it in the basement. Everything goes in the basement.
Nothing fits in that damn basement.
There's a lot of shit in that basement, and there's still room.
Well, it seems like the perfect place to have the homebrew competition. It seems like a perfect fit with what you guys are doing here and the people for the people by the people mantra. It's perfect.
It is. I love that.
Are you ready to talk?
I think. Well, no, not really. But I didn't want there to be dead air. Not like I, can't edit that out or anything. When do you think the sour beer is going to be ready? Like, is anything sour on the list now?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a sour beer on that we're trying later on, but there were the 3 barrels downstairs in the sours. When are the other ones going to be on?
Well, I think a lot of it depends on how fast this sour goes and how we think the next sour tastes. I would say the one in the closest one is probably a month away.
Okay.
The longer it goes, maybe the better, but there is a point that it's not going to be getting any better. So we'll see in a month where it is and go from there. We have a dedicated sour line on tap. So we do Berliners and Gozes as well that we can throw on between. We have a Brett IPA right now fermenting that we can throw on tap between
let's throw that
our
on
barrel.
tap. Let's throw that on tap.
It's fermenting, so we can go down and have some now if you want. It's just not as good.
It's just not as good.
Steph's in for that.
You can have it, but it's not as good.
Not as good.
Yeah.
It's got to finish fermenting, and then it's going to be awesome.
Very nice. So was sour beer something that you guys, as brewers, have been into for a while, or is that something that's kind of new to you guys? Because it is sort of a different sort of side to the whole brewing.
I know we both really like sour beers.
Yeah.
We've gone to Asheville and Vermont together, and we've drank a lot of sour beers. We definitely wanted to make them here. And we know it's kind of a dangerous proposition, a little bit with the bugs, but it's something we definitely wanted to do. We only dedicate one tap to it right now, and we'll see where it goes from there. And I think one tap is probably good for it.
Yeah, for just start out, just kind of see how it goes. Yeah.
Have you done any bottle releases?
Not yet, but we do plan on doing it.
Is that the plan?
We'll actually probably can the clean beers, and then we might bottle condition or bottle the sours.
Nice. Some hand waxing action going.
That'd be cool.
That'd be nice.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Anything that's labor intensive that I can make them do. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Tell me the worst way. Maybe cork and cage.
You guys do all the hard, like, menial labor. You do all the climbing around on the ceiling.
That's right.
Usually I'm drinking a beer during it, too, watching them.
Yeah.
Even better.
From
You
a
could put it in
snifter
one of
just
those.
swirling
What are
it
the backpacks that you
evilly.
put the water in?
Oh, like the Camelback things.
Yeah, get a Camelback with beer and climb the fermenters.
That's a good idea.
You could do that. I had one of those when I went to Hershey Park the one time.
With beer in it?
No. I've only done that once. No, we did water. It was boring. The park was fun. Anyway, speaking of beer, should we try some of?
Should we try more beer?
Yeah, let's have some beer.
Let's do it.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
I love it when beer just appears in front of us magically. Poof! It's just boom! It's there. So we've got a flight in front of us. So there's 4 beers that we're doing this segment. My phone went dark, so I don't know my notes. What are we starting with?
You didn't read them anyway.
Shush! I did when we paused.
So the first one we're looking at is Show Me What You Hop, and that is Cascade. We have a couple different Show Me What You Hop beers coming out.
Show me what you hop.
Show me what you
Exactly.
Are we getting Swifty too?
Yeah, absolutely.
The best beer out of them becomes the Swifty beer.
Yes, that is awesome.
Nice. That's pretty awesome. That's
So
good,
this
yeah.
was made with hop soil, which is distilled hops out of a place in Montana, Glacier Farms out of Montana. Stone did it with Hop Hunter. They used distilled hop oil for that, and we got some from them to try it out in some beers.
So it's distilled hops? How does that work?
I don't know.
Okay,
If they're
fair
moving,
enough.
if they're moving, you hold them still, and they're distilled.
right.
I guess no, they would be distilled, so
Yeah,
they're
so
now
they're
moving.
constantly moving.
So I know what they do is they
That
take fresh
backfired.
hops, they distill it in the liquid form, just like hop extract, but it's like water, really hoppy green water. You don't taste. I've never just tried it by itself because
Right.
it's very potent. You put a drop into a pint and it's
right, and it's an IPA all of a sudden.
it's more than IPA. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
We only put a couple drops into this beer.
Interesting. So it's not like a hop tea, though. It's not just like steeped. Like it's
No.
actually like an extracted or distilled, I guess would be the proper term.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's not. This is a lighter IPA. I think it comes in at like 5.1%. We used pellet hops, Cascade pellet hops, and then we finished it off with the hop soil.
So
It's very
is the
crisp.
plan to use pellet hops and hops oil for all of the beers in this Show Me What You Hop
Not
group of
necessarily.
beers, or this one just happens?
We just really
to-
like the name Show Me What You Hop, so we decided to make it a series.
So they're just all beers that celebrate different hops.
Correct.
In different
We have a
ways.
Mosaic coming out and a Chinook coming out, and the Chinook is also a hop soil beer.
Nice. Yeah, I know you mentioned Stone used the hop soil in the
Was that Stone or Sierra?
It was Sierra Nevada.
Oh, Sierra Nevada.
Sierra Nevada. But I don't think I've had that. I don't think I've ever knowingly had a beer that used that. That's interesting. That's something different.
I have. What motivated you to go that route? I'm curious.
We tried the Glacier Mountain hops. I'm butchering
Craft
their name.
Brewers Conference?
Yeah, the Craft Brewers Conference. He had a little demonstration where he put a tiny little drop in a beer. You tried the beer by itself first, and then with the drop in there, and it was a totally different beer, totally different experience drinking the beer. Very almost fresh hop. It just kind of exploded the beer aromatically. Just very green, very hoppy. Just with a tiny drop of it. And from that conference, we were like, we need to get this stuff. This was our first try at it. We've never used it before, and we're gonna try it on a couple beers from here on out.
Nice.
At what point in the process do you add it?
Very end.
Kegging.
Yeah, we put it in as we were kegging.
So is it like something that's sort of like a way to add that sort of hop character and like a fresh hop character without the trouble, or does it bring its own sort of thing to the table?
I think it brings its own sort of thing to the table. It's like another level of hop flavor from that specific variety. It adds, I I don't know, like a fourth dimension to it a little bit.
You're not thinking fourth dimensionally. You're not hopping fourth dimensionally.
You can tell he's feeling better this episode.
Yeah, right.
You have to bring back, the sick Wayne just brought very little to the table, so you're bringing it all tonight.
I know. I have
It's
a
like,
little pent-up
I'm
podcast
back.
aggression. Yeah.
Podcast aggression.
What I like about this, though, is that it has, to be completely cliched, a very strong malt backbone. But it has a nice malt character, to it, and it's very crisp and clean, and it drinks really easy. Lower in ABV, which is nice.
There's a sweetness to it, though, that's kind of throwing me off, that I wasn't expecting. Almost
I
like
was
a
gonna say
lager sweetness that you get at
Just
the
at
end
the
of a
very
good,
back.
crisp, like Pilsner.
Mm-hmm. I think what we were going for was making a lighter beer, a lighter IPA, and letting the hop soil showcase.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if next time we add some more hop soil and get a little more of that fresh hop, that green taste out of it. This was a trial. I think it came out really nice. I like it. I'm surprised by it for sure.
What malts are in this?
This is 2-row wheat and I believe some biscuit.
Okay.
So it's like could be a very light lager kind of malt. So those malts are creating that nice.
It does have
sweetness.
a lagery character to it, especially.
It's not, and I don't even want to say it's not like the sick. I know I say that phrase all the time. The sickening sweetness, like that thick, like alcohol-y sweetness, but it's that the end of a Pilsner sweetness. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Yeah,
and we just used a clean American ale yeast for it. So again, we were trying to showcase the hop soil.
Nice.
It does a really good job. It's like a unique flavor to it with that sweetness in the back too. I really enjoy this one.
I think this would pair really nicely with
bacon.
Wow, just like that.
Bacon.
Actually, something like that. No, but it's like I was going to say something like a big, nice like burger. Like you guys have a really good burger on the menu because it's not something. It's the only kind of beer like, and maybe it's that lagery character that like would be good for washing down something very hearty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know we had it. Dave and I had it last night with wings, and it was a good pairing for us.
Oh, I wanted to ask you about that. On the website, the first thing I saw was there. You had the hours, and you had Wednesday wing night. I know last night would have been Thursday, but like...
we had it Wednesday. Our days run together here.
Trust me, I understand that. But what makes Wednesday wing night? Is it like a special, or are they...
Alliteration.
Okay, all right. Simple
Same
enough.
reason you get
Taco Tuesday.
All right.
Fajita Friday.
We do Trivia Thursday.
There you go.
That's like a forced alliteration, though.
It's forced.
All right.
Yeah.
At least you admit it. Trivia.
Malty Monday.
Malty Monday. All right.
Malty Monday.
I'm trying to think of something with a TH for Thursday. We're getting off track.
Thirsty
Thursday.
Thirsty Thursday. Yeah.
I wanted wings when I saw that.
So how does the wing night work? You only have wings on Wednesdays?
Correct. We only have them on
No, we have wings on the menu. We have pig wings on the menu.
We have pig wings. Yes. We have
Throbbing
pig wings.
Thursday. Sorry. What are pig wings?
Pig wings are basically the
Pork wings?
shank. So they're that shank of the pig. They come out and you get two really big meaty ones. They kind of look like wings, like huge wings.
We had them at Two Rivers.
Two Rivers.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as you started explaining it, I was like, oh yeah, I've had those.
Yep.
Very nice.
But Wing Wednesday is normal wings?
Yes, normal
wings.
chicken.
And like a whole bunch of different flavor kind of thing? Just hot wings?
We only really do 3 or 4.
Yeah.
We try to keep it simple. You just you shove a bunch of flavors in, and then the kitchen's going to go crazy because they have like 5 different dipping
good
sauces
point.
they need to go.
Yeah.
And for us,
Nobody wants to
like
wait for their wings.
Exactly. Yeah, and we want to just keep it simple. Come up with a couple good ones and rotate them too. I think we have maybe a mangost one coming out. So so we'll do a mangost like little hot one as
Steph,
well.
you want to come back for Wednesday wing night that
Will
week?
you do tofu wings?
No. Just say no.
I'll just drink the sauce.
Yeah, I was gonna just bring out little samples of the sauce and like give you some bread or something. You can just dip it in.
Hey, at Arugas, they had
That's true.
those tofu strips.
Bring your own tofu and you just get the sauce. And you just
There we go. Yeah, we'll
just
cook it
toss
up for you.
I mean, all you do is toss it.
Yeah, at least he's offering to cook it for
There you
me.
go. Although he can't guarantee he's going to cook it on a surface that hasn't also cooked, real meat wings.
I think we've broken her enough that she doesn't care.
Yeah, she probably wouldn't care about that. You're
No,
not that
I would
picky.
care about.
Would you really?
Yes.
Are you that picky?
What if it's like the same deep fryer as chicken wings?
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. So you still have some values. Congratulations.
I know. You broke me, so I eat cheese.
Yep.
But
Well, what do we have next on the flight?
So the next beer is Ball Gunner Black IPA. It is a darker We kind of wanted a chocolate, roasty, hoppy, citrusy kind of combination.
Mission accomplished.
Holy crap.
That is unique. That is real. I don't think
It
I've
is
ever...
truly like a porter and an IPA married
like
together.
Yeah, I mean, it's like just like these are these two things, and there they are.
There's like more hop bitterness after you swallow. It's like...
And I'm actually...
It's like
getting like a pepper, like a black pepper.
Yeah.
In the aftertaste?
Dead on.
This is I've never tasted anything like this. It's very unique.
That was Dave adding peppers.
Yeah, Dave tried to probably sneak them in behind our back.
What you don't know is...
Dave, you're awesome.
It's one of our highest IBU beers. It really is. And the malt backbone kind of rolls it out so you don't get blown up by those hops.
It reminds... I love when this happens, but I hate it at the same time. There's a taste in there that reminds me of something specific, and I can't think of what it is.
Is it smoky?
It's smoky-ish. It reminds me of a specific food. Like a smoky...
Bacon.
Herbal...
Campfire bacon?
No, I can't... I don't know.
It's good. I like this. It has
I like
layers.
it too. Yeah, it has a lot of... It's a lot going on.
A black IPA is always something we wanted to put on tap. It's a style Dave and I and Pat as well we all like, and we don't see a lot of around here, or really a lot of places.
You know,
since we talked about it years ago, it's kind of more so we've seen black IPAs. But yeah, it's something we like having on tap.
I feel like there was a period where we had on the podcast a lot of black IPAs.
Yeah,
a lot of places
and
we
then
went,
it just, like,
and
went
then
away.
It just stopped, and
Yeah,
I haven't had
they
one
were
for a
kind
while.
of a thing for a
like
while.
a flash in the pan kind of thing, and it's been a while since I had one.
I think they're underrated a lot.
They're not all well made.
Well, I mean, that's
Yeah,
true. I mean, this one
no.
definitely is. But you're
This
right.
has body to it. It has roasty characters. It has citrusy hop flavors. It
Got a nice-
has
got a nice mouthfeel to it.
smokiness. It has a bit of like a spicy character almost. Not like the kind of spicy Dave and I like, but
Normal
it's
human
good.
spicy. I really like it. What's the ABV on it, did we say?
No, it is...
6-1.
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
You're faster than me.
Steph for the win.
Steph, you want a job? I'll fire these guys.
I just
You know
can't
more
read.
about their beers than they do. Yeah.
This would be good in a can.
That's our plan.
This is seriously driving me nuts. There's a specific taste I'm getting out of this that I can't think of what it is.
Marshmallows.
It's not marshmallows. God damn it. I'll think of it eventually. The very end of the show, the last thing I say, like I always have to have the last word, it's going to be what this tastes like.
All right. There you go. Now you have to listen to the end.
And you've got to think of it. I'm going to save that one for a little bit.
Yeah.
Are we getting into spicy territory now?
Is it time? Is it time? Is it time?
Yeah,
Is it
these
time?
next two beers have peppers in them, yes.
Oh, but before we move on, I did have to ask, where did the name Ball Gunner come from?
Oh, yeah.
Ball gunner was in World War II. My grandfather was a ball gunner in the war, so I kind of came up with this beer, and Pat says it's the beer that got me hired, that I gave to him to try.
Aw.
So he kind of let me name it, so I named it after my grandfather.
And what is a Ball Gunner?
It is the person that sits underneath the plane and would shoot the other planes coming underneath it, or people on the ground.
Is that like
or
the
things.
little bubble
Yes,
on the bottom?
they
With the,
typically had to be short, skinny people
Right,
that could
right.
fit in there.
Well, I'm right out.
I also would not qualify.
Most people in this industry would not.
Well, that's
Yeah,
true.
fair enough. Okay, now we may move on.
So now that Wayne has delayed spiciness,
Sorry.
what?
Before we move on,
No,
I have
it's-
one more question. No, I'm just kidding.
Of course you would. Of course you would. Which one of these is hotter?
Probably Dave's Spicy Ale is hotter,
Okay.
Which
but
is why I put mangoes first.
so we can do Mangos next.
Fantastic.
It's 12.
It is 12%, so let's begin. This might be another one to save and sip on.
Is this one?
And
the
this is
Mangos?
the at the handle one.
Yeah, the
Mango-
Mangos is at the handle.
So the next two, Dan, you're drinking the wrong beer. You went too spicy, too fast, my friend. Pull it back. Pull it back.
Should I spit it back out? I just swallowed.
No.
Should I
Yeah, you should vomit it back up into your flight glass. No, the one at the handle.
So right. All right. There we go. All right.
So this is a triple IPA, 12.5% alcohol. We throw a lot of citra hops in there, and then we dry hop with citra, and we dry hop with ghost peppers and mangoes.
I do remember this.
Oh yeah.
This is very
There's
good.
the mango.
The first time we threw ghost peppers in was for Little Big Beer Fest. trying to throw something different into the mix, and it stuck. Everyone at that festival really liked it. We walked away with a trophy, and it's a beer when we don't have on tap. People are like, "Where the hell is Mangos?"
Oh, I'm so proud of Pennsylvania beer drinkers.
I know, right? Yeah.
I literally get calls. I'll answer the phone and they'll ask if I have mangoes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
They don't even say anything.
Nope.
How can I help you? Do you have mangoes?
Is mangoes on tap? And I, you know.
Mangoes.
Put Mangos on the phone.
Yeah. But it's a doozy, man. 12%. I mean,
But it doesn't feel like it, and that's what I remember from Little Bit Beer Fest.
Yeah,
I would
that's
pin
the
this
problem.
nowhere near 12.
A lot of the alcohol that you're going to get out of it, I think the ghost pepper covers up a lot.
Yeah, but that's not even overpowering, though. It's like it's like a tickle of pepper at the end, almost.
It's not super hot. I have a pleasant warmth in my mouth. That's my favorite quote of yours. I'm sorry.
I have a pleasant warmth in my mouth.
There it is. There it is.
Oh, Steph.
Yep.
But it's true. It's not like super spicy, crazy. You know,
Ooh,
Needs more
I'm
peppers.
feeling a little bit of the burn right now.
a little bit. You do. And
Yeah,
it
is one that the more you drink, the more you feel.
And it's like a lower, like bottom of the throat kind of.
Like, shit, I'm going to
tingle.
like have heartburn later kind of tingle.
Yeah, well, maybe not. I mean,
Brought to you by Tums.
around there. Yeah. But no, and I mean, our listeners know that I don't handle spice the best, and this is not like I'm
Although
not like.
I feel like we've built up your tolerance.
I have actually, and I've started enjoying spicy food more than I used to.
Yeah.
Thanks to your influence. So
You're welcome.
yeah.
So, Dave, at what point in the process do you like to add your peppers?
I like to add them frozen, and then pretty much when the beer is almost ready to go to the braid tank. So you can monitor the spiciness, because we have to like hit the same spiciness every time to keep it consistent. So we'll do it during the week, so we're here, and then taste it every day. Sometimes it only takes like 24, 48 hours, and then it's right where we want it, and we rack it over and pull it right off the pepper so it doesn't get any hotter.
And then after Mangos, we have the one I drank first by accident. So this is Dave's Spicy Ale. Now this one's half the ABV, but you argue that
twice
it's hotter.
the spice.
This one's made with Carolina Reapers.
Oh, Jesus.
And habanero extract.
Why? Why would you do that?
Because I'm
It's
here.
yummy. And I told her I'd make her a spicy beer, so...
You did.
Have you come across a spicy beer that you can't take? Or Dave, have you?
No. I've been punished by a few.
Crime and Punishment.
Crime
are
and
pretty
Punishment,
intense.
yeah, they were
Well-
hard to get down. My wife tapped out, like, pretty much instantly, and I was like, wow.
So did Wayne.
I was like, I have this whole bomber to finish now.
Yep, that was
Oh,
me. I
God.
finished the bomber, too.
I think I tapped out pretty early with
But
that.
I made it through.
You lasted longer than Wayne.
Yeah, but
Do
not
you remember
by much.
when we gave Chelsea Ghostface
Oh, my
Killa in the
God.
basement, the first Harrisburg Beer Week episode we did?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, and she almost exploded.
She also had a migraine that night, too.
She did. That didn't help. But
I like Ghostface Killa.
That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Probably the hottest, though. No, well, I don't know. The one that Spellbound made for us.
Ooh, that was...
that was
That
pretty
was
crazy.
pretty freaking
That's the one
hot.
that smelled like betrayal.
I'll find it. I don't know where it is. Fuck it.
And like most of the beers, we're not trying to kill you with the spiciness. It's supposed to be a pepper flavor, a balance, with definitely a something that might hit you in the sinus.
Yeah.
That kind of
'Cause
pepper.
honestly, at first with this one, I don't get much. The flavor is there of the peppers, but not so much the heat, but my nose is starting to clear up a little bit. And now I think it's starting to run. All right.
I need a tissue.
This one's a lingerer, so
Yeah.
it'll stay with you for a little bit.
Do you have to
That
let it
should be
linger?
the name of a spicy beer.
The lingerer.
I need a tissue.
I need a tissue.
Dave's Spicy Ale was just a stand-in. We couldn't think of anything.
Now it's called I Need a Tissue.
Yeah, it's not super like you don't take a sip and like, oh, my mouth is on fire. It is a slow smolder. I'm getting like a little bit of a...
Is Carolina Reaper... Isn't that supposed to be one of the hottest peppers in the
Yes.
world? Okay. Is it the hottest or one of the hottest?
Depends what day of the week.
Yeah, I was going to
Oh,
say, I feel like
great.
it changes. Yeah. Like people are constantly claiming something.
Remember
Right.
when habanero was the hottest pepper?
Barely. My, how far we've come. Look at us now.
I know when we were cutting the peppers up in the basement. I mean, just the smell alone was, I would say, it was the hottest beer in the world, or hottest pepper in the world.
Do you use gloves when you cut them?
Absolutely, I've learned my lessons.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. I think we've all had that moment.
The worst is you don't use gloves and then you go to the bathroom.
Oh.
It happened once. And only once.
Never again.
I think we could have just left it at, I've learned my lesson. You had to take
No,
it
I
to the
have
next
to
one.
push the boundaries, man. Oh, got to get there. Got to get that TMI, PA.
Well, now that we have beers in front of us.
Yeah, especially the spicy ones that I'm not gonna chug anywhere near it. I've been told we've got a new game.
I know, right?
What was
is
the last
going
time
on?
that happened? A while ago. So Wayne, what do we have?
Cheers once again, Internet, and welcome to Happy Fun Time Games, the only podcast trivia segment that is legally considered an open container if you are listening in your car. Today, we are playing a brand new game inspired by Steph. In a comment, I believe, when we were at Neshaminy Creek recently. This game is called Ludicrous Liquor Laws and Some Lies, in which I will tell you a ludicrous liquor law from somewhere in these wonderful United States, and you must tell me whether that law is real or if I made it up in my brain parts. So it's the usual am I telling you the truth or lying routine, but this time with liquor laws, and we will begin in time-honored tradition to my left with Dave, who is going to answer first on this one. Tell me, is this a real law or did I make it up? Bartenders at restaurants in Utah must pour drinks behind a partition.
I'm going to go with true.
You're going to go true on that one. All right, Tony, what do you think?
I'm going to say it's a lie.
Saying it is a lie. Pat, what do you think?
Utah's weird, so I'm going to say true.
Utah's weird. That much is true. Steph, what do you think?
That shit's true.
That shit's true. And finally, Dan.
I'm gonna go true.
True. Steph had a poker face there. She's been there. She knows it. It is true. Everybody but Tony was correct. Restaurants in Utah that opened after 2009 have structures known as Zion curtains that were put in place to make drinking less glamorous to impressionable kids. Drinks are poured behind these partitions, often made of frosted glass, obstructing the demon juice from the delicate sensibilities of non-drinkers and minors. However, researchers have found that there's no actual data to back the idea that partitions help curb underage drinking.
I think it would make it worse because it's like, ooh, what are they doing back there?
Well, and not only that, but these people don't live in a friggin' bubble. Like, it's not like if you're pouring drinks, but like, people know what pouring drinks looks like. Like, what are you hiding? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. But hey, it's Utah. Moving on, and Tony's going to guess first on this one. And this is, in Oklahoma, most booze has to be sold warm.
I'm going to say that's a lie.
You're saying that is false. Once again, Pat, what do you think?
False.
False as well, Steph.
Oh, God. I hope it's false.
Hoping false. Is that your answer?
Sure.
All right. You're hoping your answer are one and the same. Dan, what do you think?
I was trying to think of the song Oklahoma, and all I got is Oklahoma.
I don't think that's going to help.
Probably not.
Even if you knew every word by heart.
Probably not. I'm going to say it's a lie.
All right. Saying it's everybody's saying false so far. Dave, what do you think? You get a buck the trip?
I will go with false to stay in the game.
All right. Well, everybody's wrong.
What?
Yes.
Wow, that's messed up.
Under state law, beer, wine, and
I
spirits
will not open a brewery in Oklahoma.
over 4% alcohol by volume must be sold at room temperature in stores. However, there is legislation being moved through the House of Representatives to allow refrigerated beer and wine sales, but for now, you just have to wait for your beer to chill. Nope, you have a point.
I was thrown off because I did. There's a lake, 10 Killer in Oklahoma we went to. We were drinking beers, but I forgot we brought the beer over from Arkansas.
See?
Fooled myself.
In the details. Devil's in the details. Well, you are guessing first on the next one, Pat, and this is, in Minnesota, it's illegal to take alcoholic beverages into public restrooms.
Wait, what?
Is that true or false?
False.
I'm saying that is false. Steph, what do you think?
I kind of feel like that's something you would come up with.
Okay, or is it something that the state legislature of Minnesota came up with? I mean, it is
All right,
Minnesota.
it's ridiculous. Maybe it is true. I'll say it's true.
All right, true, because it's ridiculous. Dan, what do you think?
I'm going to say fake, but when is the last time you took an open container into a restroom?
Oh, seriously.
When was the last
like you're
time
at a bar and you gotta pee?
When was the last time you were at a fucking beer fest?
I drink my beer first and then go to the bathroom.
I drink it. You obviously don't have to wait in line.
Why do you think
You always take a full beer while you're waiting in line.
Why do you think, like, first of all, Many restrooms have shelves above the urinals specifically for this purpose. And even if they don't, the tops of urinals are flat.
I don't know that I've done
You're
that.
just weird.
All right, I'm still saying false.
All right. Dave, what do you think?
I will try true.
All right, you will try true. Tried and true. Tony, what do you
I'll
think?
say false.
False. You said false every time, and you have no points. I just want to point that out to
Third
you.
time's a charm.
However, that has now changed because that is false.
I knew you came up with that.
Yes, I came up with that out of my brain parts,
Damn
and
it.
I've done it, as Dan and I have now discussed many, many times. Never in Minnesota. Moving on,
Not
and
yet.
Steph is going to guess first on this one, and this is keeping an open tab is forbidden in Iowa.
Can I phone a friend? I want to call Liz.
No, I was thinking the same thing. No.
I'll say true.
All right, Steph saying that's true. Dan, what do you think?
It seems ridiculous, but
Ludicrous.
that's
is,
the name of the game.
Ludicrous is the name
Literally.
of the game. Literally ludicrous.
Literally ludicrous.
It's gotta be fake. Why would you not be able to leave an open tab?
And it's false?
Because they
think
don't
it's false.
trust people in Iowa.
Take your credit card. That's why you take the credit card when you run the tab. If you don't close out the tab, you don't get your credit card back.
He's getting very emotional.
He is. And yeah.
It's false.
Okay.
You can have an open tab.
Moving over to Dave, what do you think?
I think it's false.
You're thinking it's false. Tony, what do you think? True. Saying that it's true, and Pat?
I'm going to go with true, too.
Going with true as well. It is true.
What the hell?
However, you're going to be very upset with me.
Specifically me. You pointed at me.
And I was going to say it before everyone else guessed, but I figured I should stop myself. Okay, so it's true, sort of. Okay, while you may be good for it, Iowa forbids you from keeping a running tab at your local watering hole. Tabs and credit vouchers are illegal in the state, and bartenders may only extend credit through the use of bona fide credit cards. While a patron may run a tab while drinking at the establishment, licensees and their employees and agents are required to ensure that the tab is fully paid before the patron leaves. So if you have
That's just called good business practice.
right, but it's actually the law. There are, like, if you have a bar that you go to regularly, I have had bars where I have left open tabs and
they
gone
just
home.
yeah, 'cause they know
add
you'll be back.
20%.
And come back. Exactly, but that is illegal in Iowa.
They can't do that.
Now, many establishments won't let you do that, and you could see why. But many bars who have a lot of regulars will allow you to keep a tab open, leave, and come back the next day and still have an open tab.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, there's only 49 states.
Not wow, wow! You're dead to me, Iowa. You're dead to me.
I guess we're never visiting Liz.
Yeah.
Or the birthplace of Captain Kirk.
Moving on, and Steph is
Dan.
going to guess. Dan is going to guess
Yeah.
first on this one. Did I
Yeah.
skip somebody? Because we have two more left.
Did you? Or did you just make up too many things?
I just went first on that
Yeah.
one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I
You
did.
could also run down the list, too.
Yeah. Dan.
Yes. That's my
Math is hard.
Public drunkenness, like skateboarding, is not a crime in Nevada. True or false?
name. Is not a crime.
Is not a crime.
That's got to be true that it is not a crime.
Like skateboarding.
Wait.
Is not a crime.
Do you mean...
Specifically in Vegas, you said?
No,
or
in Nevada.
Do you...
You said Nevada. I might have...
Before that's my final answer, do you mean skateboarding is not
No,
a crime,
no,
much like...
No, ignore skateboarding. That
All right.
was editorial color.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Public drunkenness
All right.
is specifically outlined as not being illegal.
I
in
believe
Nevada.
I feel like
believe that
Not
was-
only is it not illegal, it's encouraged.
Of course. Have you been to Las Vegas?
I actually have not.
You haven't. That's right.
What?
All right. Well, that needs to change, but
We need to approach
yeah,
it.
you are allowed to be publicly
road,
drunk.
that's a long road trip.
Well, we have a place to
Think
stay.
of all the places we could stop on the way.
On the way, that's true. Are you saying it's true?
It is true that it is not a
After all of
crime.
that? Okay.
I'm
Dave.
skipping my turn. I'm saying it's true.
All right, I'm going to put down Steph for true already. Dave, what
I'm
do you
going to
think?
say false that it's still a crime. They're
Okay.
just very lenient on it,
Okay.
and they let it slide.
Gray area. Okay.
I agree with Dave. I'll say false.
Okay.
Wow.
Cool.
I'm surprised.
Like public nudity in New Orleans.
I'm actually
for
going to say
tourism.
false, too.
All right. All right.
Nevada doesn't even let you talk on your cell phone.
All right.
And you can't drive and talk on your cell
Oh
phone.
yeah,
It's one of those states.
Yep.
Yeah,
Our aunt
I
warned me
almost
about
feel
that.
like that makes more sense.
Yeah, I visited some family we have in Vegas recently, and I borrowed a car, and my aunt was like, "Do not have your phone out at all."
They freak out.
Yeah, like you will automatically be pulled over.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Well, Team Tattered Flag saying false. freaking out over cell phones, you guys are wrong. It is true. It
Team
is
Beer
true.
Busters, all right.
Nevada state law explicitly states that it is not a crime to be drunk in public because drunkenness is a health problem.
Oh, wow.
What the law does not explicitly state is that open intoxication helps the state keep its reputation that millions in tourism dollars depend on.
Wow.
But there's actually a section of the state law that entitled Civil Protective Custody of Abusers of Alcohol, and it reads in part, the legislature finds and declares that the handling of alcohol abusers within the criminal justice system is ineffective, whereas treating alcohol abuse as a health problem allows its prevention and treatment and relieves law enforcement agencies of a large and inappropriate burden. Which, okay, kind of makes sense. The use of alcohol, the status of drunkard, and the fact of being found in intoxicated condition are not public offenses and shall not be so treated in any ordinance or resolution of a county, city, or town.
Wow.
Wow.
That should be on a t-shirt.
In very small print. Moving on to our final law of the game, because I have 6 for some reason, because I thought there were going to be 6 people other than me on the podcast, and I don't know where I got that from. But I have one more, so Dave is going to guess first on this one. You get 2 chances to guess first. And this is, in parts of Wyoming, it's illegal to serve coffee and alcohol in the same establishment.
What?
I'm going to say true.
All right, saying that is true.
Wait, I blanked. What was the question?
You can't serve coffee and alcohol in the same establishment.
In parts of Wyoming.
Wyoming.
So you do. Where do you go for brunch?
They probably don't do brunch. There's like 4 people that live in Wyoming.
This is true. Tony?
Maybe 5.
Yeah, but
maybe they
I
just
feel
had a
like
kid.
they have weird laws in Wyoming.
Yeah.
I'm still going to say false, though, because that's a weird one.
All right, saying that's false. Pat, what do you think?
I'm going to say true because caffeine's the devil.
All right,
No, I'm going to say true, and here's why. Because
right.
there's no way in hell you would make up that law.
Okay.
Because coffee and alcohol are your 2 favorite things. There's no way you would make
These
that up.
are a few of my favorite
But maybe he's just channeling like his inner nightmare.
That would be your nightmare.
Welcome to my nightmare.
Also, he can't smoke.
Dan?
That would be the nightmare. I'm going to say true.
Dan is saying it's true. Everybody except Tony is wrong.
What?
Oh, wow.
Because it's false. I totally made that up. It's not true at all.
Yeah.
Yeah? It's not true.
Congratulations, Tony.
Well, did I win?
Well, you got that right.
We're going to find out in just a second who our big winner is. Oh, man.
Do you have a German sparkle party?
We have a bloated German sparkle party. I'm not quite sure what that means, but we have a 4-way tie.
Holy
Things
crap.
are getting freaky. We got a 4-way up in here with 3 points apiece. Tony, Pat, Steph, and Dan.
Wow.
Yeah, Dave Adams.
All time for first place. And sitting lonely at the bottom with literally 1 point. The first one you got right, and then it was all after that.
Crashed pretty quick
At
there.
least he got one right. Could have been worse.
Is Dave. I do have one interesting aside that I came across while researching today's game. And this comes from Idaho. Their liquor license quotas are limited to 1 per 1,500 people and are designed to be rather strict. In fact, temperance is written into the state's constitution, and it's called a first concern of good governments. But there's often cause to grant exceptions for economic reasons and stuff, and they often resort to bizarre legal contortions to do so. So, as an example, in order to grant an exception to the law to give a liquor license to Clark House, a historic bed and breakfast in Hayden Lake, the legislature passed an amendment lifting the rural license ban on any hotel that, quote, has been in existence for at least 75 years and has been on the historic register for a minimum of 10 years, is situated within 500 yards of a natural lake containing a minimum of 36,000 acre-feet of water when full, with a minimum of 32 miles of shoreline, and is located in a county with a minimum population of 65,000.
What?
A set of conditions that only that establishment could satisfy, and therefore be allowed to have an exception and get a liquor license.
Wow.
What?
Your government at work, ladies and gentlemen. Your government at work.
So glad I pay taxes.
Yes, and now that we've come to the end of the game, it's time for our Patreon patron roll call. I need some echo there, I think.
If I could do live reverb, I would.
I just came up with that idea. That's
I have that, though.
Show note. Anyway, Patreon patron roll call for our most generous patrons. We have, of course, long-standing patrons Wolfgang, Von Colt, and Victoria Miles in the hizzy this evening. We also have our favorite local brewery, Oak Brook Brewing Company. But today, we have a new patron on the roll call. You know him, you love him, the one and only, and that's No Baloney. Joe Man himself, Joe Mansell, is now a patron at a level generous enough to be on the patron roll call. If you want to get on the patron roll call, or if you just want to get some other behind-the-scenes perks, you can go to patreon.com/beerbusters to learn more.
Hello, Beer Busters Podcast. This is Joe Man, the one and only. That's No Baloney.
There you go. Oh, yeah. Had to get that in there.
The one and only, that's No Baloney.
That's No Baloney.
And
Joe
exciting
Man.
news, in an upcoming episode, we will be tasting some beers that Joe Man sent home with me last time I was in Richmond.
Yeah. All right.
So next time we're in the basement, we're cracking those out.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Which is sooner than later.
As for now...
No. Your beers. No. Know your beers.
Steph, what do we have?
So it's been almost 3 years since I last talked about brewing with peppers. Can you believe that? 3 years?
Well, that you talked about it in the segment, but you constantly talk about it.
Well, whatever.
Yeah. In an official capacity.
So I thought this would be the perfect episode to review some of my personal tips for brewing with peppers, since Man Ghost, of course, is one of my favorite beers, and Dave's Spicy Ale is now putting a smile on my face and another one of my favorite pepper beers. Remember, however, a chili beer must be a beer first. That's always my rule. The chili is secondary, as hard as that is for me to admit, but the beer should be sound, solid, and balanced and worth brewing, even without peppers. And it's important to note that even if you love hot food, a chili beer will be hotter than you think, and too hot for most people, well, except for Dave and I. So don't plan on everyone loving this brew. And don't forget to wash your hands with soap and water after handling the peppers, or wear gloves. So capsicum is the stuff that in chilies that causes heat, and it can burn your hands, eyes, and nose. Some peppers are so dangerous that you should wear disposable rubber gloves, as Dave has admitted.
Others are so dangerous that you should literally wear like medieval gauntlets.
So what kind of peppers should you use? The best peppers typically are the smaller ones, and I personally prefer fresh peppers. Green fresh peppers are not usually as hot as dried red ones and may have more sweetness to balance the heat. I like fresh peppers instead of dry peppers myself because I prefer the flavor of them. When using fresh peppers, you can remove the seeds to reduce the heat, but of course, why would you do that? Peppers can be added to the kettle, to the fermenter, or even to the bottle. Adding the chilies to the bottle will increase the chili flavor as the beer ages. The alcohol in the beer will leach out the hot and the fruity, spicy pepper flavor over time, and it won't get overly harsh. This will also give you a fair amount of hot, peppery aroma, almost like pepper hopping. I like to grow my own peppers. I'll grow anything from jalapenos to habaneros, serranos to ghost chilies, and yes, I even tried scorpion chilies this year.
Why?
And I enjoy experimenting with different combinations and amounts of peppers. I actually don't like to brew with just one specific pepper. I like to combine them. It's also important that I know where my peppers are coming from. So I prefer to add my chilies to the wort at the last 5 minutes of the boil, and I keep them in the wort for about 15 minutes after shutting off the heat. This allows me to get the spicy flavor into the beer and the fresh pepper flavor and aroma that I enjoy. It's almost like a late boil hop edition, but a late boil pepper edition, as it were.
Dry peppering.
True. So you can also put the chilies into the primary fermenter as you pitch yeast and leave them there until you rack into secondary. This will give you good heat, good pepper as fruit flavor, and enough chili aroma to balance the beer aroma. Another possibility is to add the chilies to the mash. I've never tried this myself, but it's something to consider. My favorite chili beers that I've brewed include a jalapeno saison, a habanero IPA, my habanero Rauch beer, which is my utter favorite, and a ghost chili ale. For some chili beer...
One of which was entitled...
Take a Sip, Don't Be a Pussy.
Don't Be a Pussy, Take a Sip.
Yeah. Which you designed a kick-ass label for, by the way. Probably my favorite. For some great chili beer homebrew recipes, check out byo.com or the Brooklyn Brew Shop. Some of my favorite commercial examples are Eske's Brew Pub's Chili Beer, New Belgium's Coco Mole Stout from the Lips of Faith series, Green Flash's Dia de los Serranos, Twisted Pine's Ghostface Killer, Stone Brewing's Crime and Punishments, which we mentioned earlier, Rogue Sriracha Hot Stout beer, and of course Free Will's Safe Word, which I've gone on record of saying is probably my current favorite beer ever. And of course Man Ghost is on that list. Very close second.
Safe Word is actually pretty good, yeah. Even for a non-spicy
So
beer.
that's it. And I know Dave mentioned earlier that he prefers to work with frozen peppers. I like to use them fresh. I literally pick them from my garden as I'm boiling and cut them up. So pretty much they're right from the garden. They're freshly cut and right into the beer, as fresh as they can get.
Farm to beer.
Backyard to beer.
Backyard to beer.
Backyard to beer.
Yeah.
But I guess that's a little more difficult when you're brewing on a commercial scale.
Well, we could give it a shot. We'll see how that turns out.
There you go. You add a garden. You're adding everything else here.
Yeah, right.
We have a roof still.
Hey, you go on the roof. Yeah, absolutely.
Rooftop garden.
Actually, we do have our own hop plants out in Perry County. We have our own little hop farm. We have 15 Cascade and 15 Chinook plants.
Cool. Nice.
All you need is a little, 3x3 plot.
All you need is peppers.
So there you go. Now you know.
Well, on that note, shall we? I can't even say should we beer. It's should we beer and booze. Should we drink? We should drink.
Let's continue.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
Round 2, fight.
All right. So we have in front of us
Beer.
Beer. Yes. Well, beer for now.
Yeah. Not empty glasses, as I thought.
Not empty glasses. But this one. Is this the sour? It smells sour. It smells fantastic.
This is the Amber...
Elder one?
Help me out here.
Amber Elder one.
Yeah. We're a couple
little,
beers.
little
guys didn't
Harry
name
Potter,
this one?
you know.
Elder one, yes.
Elder one. It's an Amber Elderberry sour aged in rum barrel.
Very nice. It smells delicious. I haven't tasted it yet. It smells very good. Did Jen have this?
Of course she did.
Yeah. This is the first thing she ordered, right? Yeah. This is her kind of beer.
Oh, wow. Okay. So like you got that flavor earlier that you couldn't pinpoint.
You're getting it now?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I am.
Yep.
Bacon.
When in doubt, bacon.
Yes. When
Campfire bacon, right, Dave?
Campfire bacon. This is really nice.
It's nice and tart and puckery and
There's a little funk. There's a little funk in there.
yeah, but you still
That's
get like
really
a nice sweetness from the malt out of it too. This is really good.
I think, too, the elderberries give off a little sweetness.
Absolutely.
I love the smell with it. I take a huge inhale when I'm drinking it.
Yeah, it has a very, very nice aroma.
It's very...
I get a little more... Yeah, I get the berry, but I get a little more like funk in the aroma, I think, than the taste, and it's
little
really nice. Yeah.
pleasantly pungent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I love how when you're describing beers, like words that at any other time would be like disgusting.
I know, right?
Are
Cat
just like,
pissy
Yeah.
and yeah.
It's
This
horse
tastes like gym
blankets.
socks. Give me more.
Thank you, beer,
Yes, thank you, beer.
for turning bad adjectives into positive
Yes.
ones.
Did you ever see the Jimmy Fallon? You know how he did the thank you notes on his show? I don't know if he does it anymore, but he was like, "Thank you, craft beer, for making my alcoholism sound like a really cool hobby."
I've seen that one.
There really is something else in there that I can't pinpoint.
Can't put your finger on
I
it.
It could be the
this
rum
is-
barrel.
This is going to
Could
sound
be.
really messed up, but I almost get a hint of ketchup.
Yes,
Yes?
Is that what it is?
that is it.
That is what it is.
We're
Nice.
on the same plane tonight,
I
Dave.
We
can
are.
see that. I can see that. And you know what's interesting is that I can think off the top of my head 2 sour beers that I won't name because they tasted like just like ketchup, and I hated them.
Yeah, you don't want just the
Yeah,
ketchup, but a
it
hint
wasn't
of
even until
ketchup.
you mentioned that. I was like, it does have that like sort of like that tomato acidity.
All
in
right, so
there.
here's
Yeah.
a question then. So, what do you think in this attributes to that flavor profile then?
Probably the ketchup we added.
You caught us.
Done. End podcast.
And you win the podcast.
Drop the mic.
I think maybe it's the wild yeast. Some of the wild yeast in there. If it's attributing to, ketchup in different ones.
I
and
think
how it comes
I
off
think
the
what it
berries.
is like you'll get like if you get an unintentional like infection, sometimes you will get like a strong vinegar like taste, and I
Right.
think a hint of that some wild yeast will give you like a ketchup-y kind of character.
I do. I really enjoy this beer.
Oh, it's very good. It's very good.
I never tasted ketchup before, but now that you're saying that,
Now you mentioned it.
Now
yeah.
I'm getting it too. Yeah, it's
I didn't
really
think of it
funny.
either
Sorry.
until you said it. Yeah. That's interesting.
I think it's probably the way the elderberries mix with the yeast to like it's a flavor that isn't. probably not supposed to be there, but it's like the byproduct of it, but just kind of enhances it because you know what lends to it. Then.
Yeah.
So it's the farts.
It's the farts on the beach.
It's the farts. Hashtag it's the farts. Well, and maybe, and I mean, I'm kind of grasping at straws here, but like tomatoes are a fruit, but they're sort of an acidic fruit. So maybe the fruit and the sour together kind of, I don't know.
It could. I see what you're going for.
You know? You picking up what I'm putting down?
I am.
All right. So it's the Fatum?
Yeah, Fatum series, we call it.
Right.
And that Fatum is Latin for fate or basically destiny. So that's kind of our wild series. We let it, kind of see where fate takes it.
Yeah, left to the dice of the universe, as it were.
Exactly. Yeah, we pitch the yeast a lot of times and then see how it rolls.
Cool. Throw in some ketchup, mustard.
Yeah, I mean, and the ketchup. I mean, that's
side of relish.
All the condiments.
Yeah.
What do you garnish it with then?
An
Lettuce?
onion.
An onion. Lettuce, yeah. All right.
An onion ring.
Oh.
Yes.
Now we're talking.
That is the kind of comment that we are going to be referencing on this podcast for like a long time to come. All right, let's move on.
So, what's up now? I'm glad the notes are gone.
So this is our War Bond Stout. It's a oatmeal stout. We load it with local coffee.
This is the one you were talking about earlier, isn't it?
Sure.
Well, no, didn't you say you had a...
Oh, in the barrels.
Yeah.
Yes. This is the one we age in Jack Daniel barrels.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, the coffee smell. Oh, my God.
Coffee and Jack Daniels, I mean, can you go wrong?
No.
So where's the coffee from? Because there's always a good story about the coffee.
My coffee guru out of York, she used to be a Starbucks roaster, and then she started up her own little thing, has her own roaster in her backyard, like a little industrial building out back. So we met up with her at her former employment place, and she was like, I can make you guys some coffee. I was like, sweet. So she came up with our own blend. We tried it at a couple festivals. We really loved it, so now she makes it for us in mass quantities.
This is delicious.
It smells me. I haven't sipped it yet.
I did. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, my God.
Isn't it fantastic?
Oh, my God.
It's so good. Have you guys ever done this on Nitro?
No, but we've talked about it. We're going to.
This would be really good on Nitro, yeah.
This is the kind of beer that makes you smile.
It does. It's just so...
So wait, would this be illegal in Enter the Name of the State from that law?
No, because that was fake.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Damn you.
I like with this that the coffee gives it the body, and the Jack Daniels is there just at the end.
It's not super boozy.
But it's not like the kick that you get from like a shot of Jack. It's just like the flavor, and then it dissipates, and then you're back. This is fucking fantastic.
Yeah. The whiskey character is very subtle, and it sort of props up the the coffee. I think is first and sort of front and center,
Right.
and then the whiskey just kind of surrounds that very
it
nicely.
rounds it out at the end.
Yeah,
this is really good.
I think a lot what we wanted was that vanilla, kind of sweeter taste you get from some whiskeys.
Yeah.
It came out pretty good.
it's like that touch of cream to the coffee.
Yeah.
Just a tiny bit.
Just a bit. Enough for us black coffee drinkers to still like it.
Yeah.
That charring, I think that charring helped bring out that roast and that malt, and then enhance the coffee a little bit more too.
Everything is really well balanced. I don't think one thing overpowers something else.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really good. How long was it in the barrel?
For about a month. A little over a month.
That's really not that long.
Yeah.
No.
Do you have any plans on leaving it in for longer?
What we have in there now, we might leave in for a couple months and see what happens. Yeah. We'll see where it goes. We tried it after a month, and it tasted like this, and we said, let's put this on tap.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
holy
that's a
shit,
good
if it
call
only
for sure.
takes a month.
I would be curious what would happen with more time
Sure.
in there. What would happen with that? When you do your barrel aged from the barrels from the distillery, how long do you plan on leaving those in the barrels?
You mean the whiskey?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it's bourbon, it's going to be at least 2 years.
Okay.
We've talked about doing 3 years, 6 months, maybe a year. Let it taste in every part of the process, sell it, see what people like.
Yeah, I mean, we could release. We'll probably start releasing around 3 months out of barrels, and we'll do smaller barrels, so more surface obviously adds to it a little bit. Now, it's not the palate that most Americans are used to. They're used to this 52-gallon barrel, from Kentucky. So, age 2 years, age 4 years. That's eventually our goal is to call it straight and age it 2 years.
Yeah.
But we can still get a pleasant whiskey, and obviously we'll look at it later, see how it'll age out and mellow more in the barrels.
I'm excited for that all to happen because that's a cool program to do, especially if it's your own whiskey barrels that you're using. That's amazing. I don't think we've come across anybody that's been able to do that yet because you have the two companies to be able to do it. That's amazing.
And honestly, if it comes from the stout back over to us, it's going to almost be like a cask mate. So it'll be like that Jameson style cask mates. It'll have a little tiny bit of that stout character in it.
So we'll have beer that imparts flavor to the whiskey, and whiskey that imparts flavor to the beer.
It's this
back and
nice,
forth and back and forth.
wonderful, loving cycle.
Yeah, and then at the very end, you put maple syrup in it.
Exactly.
And then you bottle that and sell it.
Yeah, there we
I
go.
will buy all of that. That was the best thing about Vermont.
So I got to say, with
barrel-aged maple syrup.
With this beer, kind of like you had with the pepper ones earlier, the more you drank it, the more you would feel the heat. The more I drink this, I could be used to the bitterness of the coffee, and the whiskey is standing out more now, which I love even more about it because it's just layer after layer after layer.
Well, and I think that's the great thing about this sort of beer, like a bourbon barrel-aged coffee stout. Like, there's so much going on that, like, as it gets warmer, it changes. As you drink more of it, it changes. As it ages in the barrel, it changes. As it ages in a bottle, it changes.
Right.
I love those sorts of beers that constantly evolve in so many different ways. And this is that kind of a beer.
Yeah, I like this beer when it gets a little bit warmer out of the pint.
I probably would, too, except I finished it.
I mean, we can change that fact, if we need
really
to.
Good, yeah.
If only there was more.
I know, right?
Exactly.
Well, we'll see, because we have one more thing coming up.
That's true.
I don't know.
All right, so I'm going to save a little bit of that. Hope it warms up a little bit. This is the creme de la creme, if you will. I have been looking forward to this for quite some time. We have the whiskey.
I'm scared.
Oh, my God. It smells so good. Oh, my God. Ooh. Joby.
You
whiskey.
tell I am not a liquor drinker. I used to drink a lot more liquor than I do now.
This is the man that got me into whiskey. We used to live together, and he would always have at least one bottle of whiskey on hand. That's not aged in French or anything. It's straight. Wow. Is it?
Is it what?
French oak?
I believe it's toasted oak.
I think it's toasted American oak.
Yeah.
I was almost super impressed. From this region, 1993.
Oh my God! It smells so incredible.
Once I got over the initial,
my eyes are drunk.
Steph, you look like you're gonna cry.
I didn't even sip it yet.
I am not a whiskey. I used to drink a lot of Jack Daniels on the rocks with a twist of lime. Like, I was never a straight whiskey sipper, and I haven't drank liquor regularly in a long time. So it took me a moment to get past that first wall of, like, I smelled it and I was like, oh, I did the face like, oh my God, it's, straight booze. But now that I've kind of acclimated to it, I can sort of appreciate.
Have we actually formally said what
nuance.
it is? By the way,
I mentioned whiskey.
It's a single malt whiskey.
Cool.
We aged it with toasted oak chips.
There we go.
For
just 2 weeks now.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we've only been distilling for 3.5 weeks.
It's brand new.
Please tell me you do this in like some sort of old fashioned that you serve here.
We make a Susquehanna. And yes, so a Susquehanna is one of our takes on the Manhattan, since we use only Pennsylvania-made distilled spirits. We can't do vermouth. No one does really vermouth in the area. So we use pomegranate juice, pomegranate molasses, aromatic bitters, our single malt here, and then orange juice. And it's pretty good. It's our bartenders are really good at mixologists, if you will.
Yeah, it's really good. It's my go-to drink. That's not a beer.
Nice.
And we do make old fashions here as well.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, he does a pretty good old fashioned.
Yeah.
This is actually kind of good.
It's amazing.
I'm curious.
Fantastic.
It's kind of pale and like sort of clear yet. Is that because it's only been aging for a little while?
The longer it ages, it's going to get a little darker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, this is delicious.
Now, is this pretty much what it'll taste like?
If we let it keep aging, it's going to get oakier. It's going to get
I'll grab more of that vanilla.
Yep, more of the vanilla. Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say, because now it has more of like a
It's sweet.
pure alcohol. Like it's almost like a little vodka like, and I think it's because it hasn't been
Almost like a fruity sweetness.
Yeah.
Like apples or maybe.
Yeah, maybe a little.
Pear?
Yeah. Apple, pear actually. Yeah.
Pear.
Yeah.
So you said in a month and a half or so I'll be able to buy this.
Yes.
Okay. I'll be back. I'll be back. This is incredible. This is so good. And I don't know if I've ever said it on the podcast, but I feel like whiskey is the next craft beer. It's what everybody's going to go to after their beer.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing. Yeah.
And I'll admit, like, don't get me wrong, clearly, I have a business that revolves around drinking craft beer. Whiskey is something I look to as, like, I'm really treating myself, and I want to get a good bottle of whiskey. And this goes down so smooth, I would be afraid of how quickly I would drink the bottle of it.
And aged just 2 weeks on ships.
Yeah, oh, God.
Very nice.
Yeah, imagine what it's going to be like.
So you said this is single malt, so that literally means there is just one fermented malt, and that's
just
it.
2-row?
2-row?
Yep.
So here, okay, this could be a very, very in-depth question. How vastly...
And hour 3 of the podcast.
Yes, right. How vastly different is the process of distilling something like whiskey versus brewing beer? I know you're talking about two different forms of alcohol and different things that are going to happen, but are there any similarities between the two?
So you're still fermenting.
Right,
You're still making a wash with sugar that yeast can eat and make alcohol.
Right.
And then the second part of the process with distilling is the difference. You're throwing it in the still and actually making the liquor.
They're sort of collecting, like evaporating and condensing.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the first part is pretty much you're brewing a beer. We're just not adding hops to it in the boil.
Right. So you're making a wort, and then
of sorts, and then the yeast still does its job.
Just a very high gravity.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What proof is this whiskey?
80.
Wow.
So that's
40%. Yeah.
Yep. I know one thing about this.
Where did the idea of proofing come from? That it's going to be twice the ABV. Like, is that a thing, or does this happen? I
feel like I think we asked this exact question at County Seat the last time we talked about liquor on this podcast, and I think the answer was nobody really knows. Yeah,
it's just a thing that happens. Okay,
unless you guys know better.
We do not.
I do not know.
Okay. All right. This is incredible, though. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I feel like I couldn't really get into drinking straight whiskey.
No,
though.
well, you used to do Jack on the Rocks.
I know,
though.
yeah, I mentioned that earlier, and but I don't know.
In fact, I think the first time I ever did a shot of whiskey was with you.
Probably. I used to be a very bad influence on everyone around me. However,
well, to be fair, I was 21 at the time, so at least it was legal.
Yeah. I like mixers, a mixed drink here and there, and I could appreciate a whiskey in that way. I don't think I could do like the whiskey connoisseur thing, like you were saying about wanting to do. I just feel like I couldn't get that deep.
There's so many, what seems to be so many variables with it, but then again, I also thought the same thing about craft beer. But if I dive into this, I think I could, pick up a thing or two about it. What I would
not recommend diving
not
into
literally
straight whiskey.
Well, I did earlier ask Steph if I could just go swimming in the barrels of whiskey downstairs.
I mean, it would be a
Or
good way
next
to go, at least.
Yeah.
That's how I want to go.
But
and it would probably be very clean when you came out. I mean, it would be very sterile.
Do you guys do, and this is probably just me, like, in my perfect element in my head, do you guys do, like, cigar nights with this, or do you think you will?
It's a good possibility. We've thrown that around a long time ago. We were looking at the place. We're not sure how that would work, and maybe it happens in the summer when we can do it outside. We'll put some outside seating on our sidewalk there. Maybe like 12, 15 people come out and do a cigar and whiskey night.
That'd be cool.
So,
you need to let me know when that happens, and I will gladly be here. In fact, so will they. I can guarantee you they will come back too.
There we go.
This would be perfect.
That's 4 people so far. I'll come too. That's 5.
There we go. Steph?
I don't like cigars and I
Steph-
don't like whiskey.
Steph won't do
I'll
cigars.
just drink Man Ghost all night.
There we go.
We'll still have the beer here.
I gotta say though, as someone that doesn't drink whiskey, I kind of enjoyed the few sips I had.
Yeah, it was very
And
good.
Dan enjoyed the rest of my sips.
You were damn right I did. Now that I just took the last sip of that, I'm going to try the coffee beer.
We're all waiting with bated breath.
Probably.
As to what you have to say.
It's a little sweeter after this.
Yeah?
Because I guess you get more of the vanilla out of the whiskey, which pairs with the coffee of it.
By the way, Jack Morris just commented on our check-in from here on Untapped and said, "Love your podcast."
Aw, thanks.
Jack.
Thanks, Jack. On that note, before you keep gushing about whiskey,
I know, I'm sorry.
I do want to mention that you can find Tattered Flag on all of the awesome socials.
All of the socials.
On Twitter, they're at Tattered Flag BSW. Facebook.com/Tattered Flag Brewery and Stillworks. And tatteredflagbsw.com. So you can get your updated tap list. You can check out their food menu. You can see their upcoming events. You can sign up to be to brew here or to make us. What's the proper verb for making spirits?
Distilling.
Distilling.
Yeah.
You can distill here.
Moonshine.
You can moonshine here. You can come and have cigars.
Here we go. This is your tagline.
No.
You can brew, distill, or just chill.
That's awesome. I like that.
Done.
Thank you. Okay, can we take that?
That one's free.
You can find them all on on all of the socials.
All the socials.
All of the appropriate socials. I know we mentioned earlier there is an event coming up. I, at this point, have had a
Homebrew
lot of alcohol and I
competition.
forget.
March 25th.
March 25th.
Are there any other events you have in the near future?
There is trivia every Thursday night that I host from 6:30 to 8:30
Brewer
down in the tasting
and
room.
trivia host. I love it.
And wings. There's wings every Wednesday
Wing
nights.
And Wing Wednesday night.
Sundays for brunch.
We have beer dinners as well, where we pair beer
Oh,
with
cool.
dinners, and we have Valentine's dinner coming up.
I think I did see something about that on the website. Cool.
It seems too perfect. You can't not do
Yeah,
your
sure.
dinners here.
So the website again is what? TatteredBSW.com?
Tattered
Tattered
Flag,
Flag.
BSW.
I'm sorry, Tattered Flag, BSW.
BSW Brewery and Stillworks.
Yes. Very cool. So definitely check out all of that. I'm blown away by everything that we've had. I almost can't find words for any of this. It's been so starting off with what the
whiskey has that effect.
It does. the TMIPA, which as I found out is 3 Mile Island, because hey, that makes geographical sense. And
Hey,
Steph
Dan,
had her
there's an
mangoes.
airport.
No shit. Where are we flying?
I don't know. We'll ask
Canada.
I was going to say to Canada.
All right.
And we want to thank Audible for their continuing support. audibletrial.com/beerbusters. You can sign up for that coveted free 30-day trial of an Audible account where you get to download, listen to, and keep your own audiobook that's in your cloud. That you're not getting rid of that. It will haunt you for the rest of your days. So don't jokingly get 50 Shades of Grey. Get a book that you actually want to listen to. audibletrial.com/beerbusters.
As long as you're taking our awful advice as to what to do on the internet, you can go to patreon.com/beerbusters and learn how you can become a Beerbusters patron, help support the show, get cool behind-the-scenes perks, just like our awesome newest patron, Joe Man. We love you and thank you so much.
Yay! This has been a hell of a lot of fun. And I don't want to hit the button I'm about to hit, but I think I have to. Sadly, very sadly, this brings us to the end of another episode of Beerbusters. Guys, thank you so much for having us out here. This is insanely awesome. You guys are doing a great thing. And the part that we're in now, like we said earlier, it's only a month in, and I can't wait for what's coming out of the distillery. You guys are blowing it out of the water. Congratulations, and keep up the great work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, I am a bewildered and spent Dan Baker, joined, as always, by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Huffner.
and the demented and fermented,
The wildered and still pending Wayne Baker.
still pending. No squids were harmed in the making of this episode. We will see you next time.
Marshmallows?
Marshmallow? I still don't know. I haven't figured it out.
Ah.